Every offseason, I spend a lot of my time trying to improve my research strategies for the next season. But I also do a lot of one on one coaching for people who aren't as confident in their fantasy football ability or they just want to learn more than they already know. And anytime I do something in life, if I do it multiple times, I try to think about, what do I enjoy about this? What do I not enjoy? And with these coaching sessions, there's really not a lot that I don't enjoy. And the main thing that I really love about them is what I call the light bulb moments. That those moments where someone's face just lights up and you can tell that they just learned something new and they're really excited to use it and they're excited for the next football season. And for me, I love making people enjoy fantasy sports more, and those one-on-one coaching sessions give me a great opportunity to do so. And so part of what I wanted to do with this course is give you those same light bulb moments. And so this mini course, I'm making it free, and it's for you, but it's selfishly also for me. I really enjoy getting to provide those light bulb moments for people, and so I hope you get a lot out of this course. And if this is your first encounter with me or with DFI, you're probably wondering, is this even worth my time? Does this guy know what he's talking about? Do these people do good research? And I'm not one to really self-promote. I think maybe if I were better at self-promoting, DFI would be more well-known than some of our competitors, but I think I think that most people feel like it's an awkward thing to do, and so I don't think I'm in the minority in feeling awkward about self-promoting. And I could tell you that DFI has 40 plus analysts that are going to research every single sport. I could tell you about some of the big wins that our clients have had and our customers and our community have made a lot of money, but I think the best way to show you that DFI does good research is just to provide value and provide value wherever I can. And in this mini course, I think I'm going to be able to provide a lot of value to you. So just give me a shot and watch these videos, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So I thought I'd start off by talking about a unique topic that isn't often discussed that much in fantasy football, other than we should just get rid of it, and that's defenses. But I don't want to get rid of defenses because I actually think that defense is where there's one of the biggest advantages to be had in playing daily fantasy football. And I'm not talking about defensive matchups, which everybody cares about. I'm talking about D/ST, defense and special teams, a position most people just throw away in their lineups. And the secret is, I'm going to tell you right away, points don't matter. Points allowed really don't matter at all. And it's so counterintuitive because it seems like they should matter. It's like your job is to play defense, like you're defending. You'd think allowing points would be a big factor, but it's really not. The math says it doesn't matter at all. Let me give you a chance to guess. What is the difference in fantasy points on DraftKings and FanDuel between a defense with 14 points allowed and 27 points allowed? I'll wait. The answer is 1 point. 1 freaking point. That's it. That's it. 1 point. That doesn't matter. Who cares? That's one sack. That's half a turnover. And if you get all the way up to 34 points allowed, it's just one more point. So the difference between 14 and 34 points allowed is 2 fantasy points. So then what does matter? What matters is sacks, turnovers. That's it. Special teams. Special teams matters to a lesser extent, but once you accept the truth that you're not going to get shutouts very often, a shutout in the NFL happens once every 2 to 3 weeks. And does it happen to your lineup once every 2 to 3 weeks? No, it happens 1 out of 32 times every 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe better odds because you're picking the matchups, but really you should not be that worried about how many points allowed your defense is going to have. Let me show you what actually does matter. So a sack is worth 1 point, a fumble recovery is worth 2 points, an interception is worth 2 points, and a touchdown is worth 6, whether it's from the special teams or the defense. So it feels like points allowed matter because you start off with 10 points. And when your defense starts playing, you get a big boost in the standings, and you're like, whoa, 10 points, all right. But, most teams are going to allow 14 points. And by the time they get to 14, they've already gone from 10 to 1. And at that point, you're left with nothing unless they've accumulated sacks, turnovers, or touchdowns. So that's really what it's all about. So then you think, okay, what type of play do I want to get the most points? Obviously, a passing play. A run play kind of sucks. If you're watching your defense and the other team runs the ball, you have almost no upside at all. So you really want them passing on every play. And the best play is a blitz. You really want teams to be blitzing, because that's where you're going to get the big upside. I mean, on any play, any pass play where there's a blitz coming, sure, they could allow a big touchdown and you might lose 1 fantasy point. But if they get a sack, you get 1, more likely to throw an interception, more likely for like a strip sack fumble, a pick six or a strip sack fumble. That's going to be worth like 8 or 9 points. There's just so much upside on a blitz. So, I mean, one thing to consider is that the Kansas City Chiefs last year finished as the second highest scoring fantasy defense. They were 24th in points allowed. It just shows you that the correlation barely even exists. I mean, sure, the Bears were the top points allowed and the top defense, but, that was due to how great the pressure they got on quarterbacks were. They forced tons of turnovers. I mean, it's just not about points allowed. So, should you target heavy favorites that are going to be playing teams that have to pass a lot? Maybe, but it's not my favorite strategy. First of all, a lot of other people are already doing that, and they're hoping for low points, but that's not what we're hoping for, so we don't need to join them on those matchups. The best matchups are the teams that pass a lot in neutral situations. The Detroit Lions were always a good example of that. They always threw a lot in neutral situations, and even if they scored 30 points, they were often a good team to pick against because they'd take sacks and they'd get turnovers. And so you want quarterbacks who will hold on to the ball for a long time, you want a weak offensive line, and you want a defense that will blitz a lot. If the quarterback takes a while to hold on to the ball, it doesn't matter if they score 40 points. I mean, you're going to pick up your points most of the time in those situations if you get a whole game of a lot of passing, a lot of holding onto the ball, and a lot of blitzing from your defense. The points, they barely even matter. So that's the focus. That's the key with defense. That's the secret. When I'm picking defenses, that's all I'm thinking about. And, special teams, do they matter? Yeah, I guess. I look at some special team stuff, but I look at it on Pro Football Focus, which costs money to use. And I wouldn't recommend buying it just for that. And I also don't know of another place to research special teams. So if you're not using the War Room and you're not using Pro Football Focus, then I wouldn't worry too much about special teams. I think it's not worth paying for the content unless you're going to use it for other things too. So I wouldn't really worry about that. And the stuff like the how many sacks the quarterback takes, how bad the offensive line is, you can find all that kind of stuff elsewhere for free. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope that you've had a light bulb moment or two in this process, and hopefully you didn't know how defensive scoring worked, and now you do. And now this season you can go out and pick a bunch of defenses that allow a shit ton of points.